Hi, I'm M.E. Ellington, co-writer of The Harvesting, and both myself and Steve would like to thank you for taking the time to watch our table read. One point of note is that the actor that was due to play Addy suffered a technical problem just before the Zoom table read was about to record, and so I stepped in to play his part in both episodes 1 and 2. Please don't hold that against us. Grab your popcorn and we hope you enjoy it.
Interior living room, Northern England, evening. A British news show plays on a prominently placed TV in an unimpressive living room. The male anchor speaks into the TV camera in the background. In the living room's foreground, a woman walks back and forth in front of the TV, blocking it when she crosses. At first, she's only visible from her knees to chest. The woman cries softly as we focus on the TV.
While the number of disappearances in the UK has been steady for several years, it has risen dramatically over the past 2, and this year's disappearances are markedly higher than last. That's particularly true today regarding a small hamlet along the northeast coast of Scotland.
I told you I love you.
Camera widens. Kelly Ford, attractive, half Pakistani, late 20s, continues to walk back and forth. The TV remains visible and prominent. Kelly has a phone to her ear, paying little attention to the TV.
Scrabster Glass, a remote fishing village, has never boasted more than 100 residents, but today it stands empty.
The TV shows a split screen that includes the male anchor and a map of Scotland. The map pinpoints Scrabster Glass and then cuts to a bucolic live shot of the empty village.
I never cheated on you. It was just emailing. He's only a friend.
No bodies have been found, and none of the current 57 residents contacted family or friends before they went missing. It's as though they completely vanished.
The TV shot returns to one picture with both the male anchor and an attractive female co-anchor.
No, I don't love him. I just like him. He's married to my friend.
Please let authorities know if you see any of the residents of this small hamlet that time seems to have forgotten.
I tell her you'll stir up trouble and end my friendship over nothing.
We'll provide additional details as we learn more.
Fuck you, Patrick. It's my home too. Why don't you leave?
Run main credits. Act 1. Exterior North Sea, Apollo oil field, dawn. Impose on screen, November 25th. Apollo oil field, North Sea. A storm sweeps across the platform, and a transport helicopter attempts a precarious landing. Interior oil platform, accommodation cabin, continuous. The square cabin has a bunk bed and wall-mounted TV. The storm rages outside the small window. The helicopter lands safely. John Andrews, well-built in late 30s, sits at his desk and Skypes with Connor, his 5-year-old son. Connor has blonde hair and blue eyes. John wears a corporate dress shirt. Samantha, Sam, John's wife, hovers in the background making breakfast. Sam is mid-30s and no-nonsense attractive. A chihuahua, Tiffany, dances at Sam's feet, yipping for food.
Happy birthday, Connor!
I got up early and Mommy says I could stay up till you get home.
He did indeed get up very early, 4 a.m.
Sam drops a small piece of egg for the chihuahua. The tiny dog sniffs it and walks away.
Are you coming to my party, Daddy?
I wouldn't miss it for the world, but I'm gonna be a bit late. Can you stay awake that long?
I don't have to go to sleep tonight because it's my birthday.
It is.
Tell Dad about your cake.
Mommy made the dinosaur cake, the T-Rex, and I'm going to eat him.
Oh! Just make sure he doesn't bite you back!
Connor laughs and runs away. Sam settles into the chair.
So how are things?
Hectic. Kelly and Patrick broke up again. He accused her of cheating.
Oh man, I think they're better off without the other, don't you think?
Well, he's a syphilitic twat, so yes, but she's overly broken up about it.
Ooh.
We may have a house guest for a few days.
Okay, maybe we'd be better off if they just got back together.
Be kind.
John
All right, I
nearly
got about half an
commented.
hour before takeoff. Anything of interest in the news?
A small fishing village in Scotland went missing. Well, the village is still there, but people aren't.
Where did everyone go?
People here in England make jokes that it's due to the Loch Ness Monster, but the Scots don't really appreciate that. I think the villagers all walked into the ocean with rocks in their pockets. It's like fishing cult sprinkled with a bit of Scientology, I'd say.
Ugh, well that's grim. So, are you ready for Connor's party?
Sam
I'm
holds up a
recording.
camcorder.
I'm recording every bloody second, and I'm gonna make you watch everything you missed. Kelly and Joanne will be here to help, so plus about 10 kids.
All right, do you need me
I
to pick
must
up
be mad.
anything? Do you need me to
Well-
pick up anything?
Maybe a couple of bottles of wine and some ice. They'll go to good use later if we don't drink them tonight.
Right.
Addie, black, British, muscular, handsome, and about 33, knocks on the open door and enters. He wears the same style of executive shirt as John's, and he works in public relations for the petrol company.
Have you told the lads about that this is your last trip yet?
Well, you just did. Hey, say hi to Addie.
Hi, Addie.
Hey, beautiful. Don't you mean to say that you're taking this hunk of man meat away from us, do you?
I didn't mean to spill the beans. You should talk to Manmeat about this.
Oh, Mr. Manmeat and I shall discuss this. John, breakfast is ready and the chopper leaves in 20.
Okay, yeah, I'll be there.
Addie leaves the room.
Hey, tell Connor I love him. I'll see you tonight. I love you.
I love you too. Be careful when you fly over Scabs Glass. That's where everything went missing.
John closes his laptop. He pauses for a moment before reaching for his packed travel bag. Interior platform canteen a few minutes later. John carries a tray of food. He sits with Addie and Lee. Lee, tall, thin, and about 25, doesn't look up, continuing to shovel food into his mouth. He's working class, not much of a talker, wears a corporate one-piece mechanic's uniform.
This man eats like it's his last meal.
Give him a break. He's a sad bachelor with no romantic prospects. You know, it's his last cooked meal until his next tour of duty, so.
I know how to boil an egg or two.
And you can toss yourself off into oblivion so all your needs are met.
Lee makes a jerk-off motion with one hand without looking up, continuing to shovel in his breakfast.
Young, dumb, and full of cum. To this henpecked wanker, save he's leaving to return to his wife.
I'm not leaving you alone. You've got each other in Lee's hand.
Lee makes the jerk-off motion again, still doesn't look up.
Had enough of it here, huh?
Look, I was going to tell you guys on the drive home. I can't be away from Sam and Connor for months at a time. Look, I'm pushing 40. This is a young man's game.
That's very sad, because you don't look a day under 50.
Oh,
The tannoy announces, helicopter departing in 5 minutes. Please report to the flight desk. The men put on their rain gear. Lee stuffs a huge mass of potatoes and eggs into a pocket of his carry-on. Exterior platform helipad, a few minutes later. A dozen workers, including John, Addie, and Lee, board the helicopter. Gusts of rain whip around them. Exterior helicopter following. The helicopter takes off, heading away from the platform. Strong winds make the takeoff uneasy. The helicopter flies through the storm. Lights cut through the lashes of rain. The North Sea swells beneath, rush and foreboding. The chopper turns and steadies. A spew of oil, An unusual oil red shoots into the sky. Interior helicopter continuous. John sits up front next to the pilot. He notices the oil spraying upwards out of the helicopter window.
What the hell?
Lee and Addie turn to look.
I've never seen that before.
Not our problem now.
I'd like to know what caused that.
Then why don't you stay on the job?
Interior helicopter about an hour later. The helicopter flies past a small village on the northeast Scottish coast. The brightly colored homes are devoid of activity. A redness tinges the otherwise multicolored homes of the fishing village.
Scrapped or glass?
What of it?
Everyone's gone missing.
I would as well if I lived in that godforsaken place.
A few minutes later, Aberdeen Dice heliport comes into view. John looks back to Addie and Lee, gives them a thumbs up. Exterior, Aberdeen Dice heliport following. The helicopter lands and standing water blows up in the rotor wash. Two men dressed in heavy-duty rain gear approach. Interior Land Cruiser, a few minutes later, late morning. John starts his Land Cruiser. Addie rides shotgun with Lee in back. John turns on the vehicle's music system.
Do you think Connor will still be up when you get home?
After all that sugar, he won't be sleeping for days. It's like crack for kids.
Stop for lunch along the way.
POV. The dashboard reads 11:32 a.m., November 25th. John switches music stations. Showdown by ELO begins to play. Exterior Land Cruiser following. The Land Cruiser leaves the parking lot, joining the main road. The rain continues. The headlamps highlight the rain. Exterior Scottish Country Road a couple hours later. The rain has stopped and the sky has grown sunny. John overtakes a Land Rover Discovery as it pulls into an inn's parking lot.
A couple hours later, it's as if they were on a different planet.
Why don't we stop for a bite? What do you say, Lee?
I'm hungry.
We'll stop for food when we need to refuel. It's an 8-hour drive to Hutton Rugby, and I don't want to waste time.
Also good to go on.
Lee reaches into his bag and begins to eat the potatoes and eggs he stuffed into the pocket at breakfast.
I'm going to piss all over your fancy car in exactly 1 hour. You have been warned.
Be a good boy, and I'll let you have some of Connor's T-Rex's cake when we get to my place.
Addie sets his phone alarm and reaches for his headphones.
Back in black. I hit the sack.
Exterior inn parking lot following. The Land Rover Discovery that John just passed parks in the inn's lot. Lisa McKinley, Scottish, about 32, and her husband Tom, late 40s, get out of their vehicle.
Thank God the rain stopped.
POV. An Army helicopter makes a low pass overhead. Tom watches it with interest.
I don't think they're looking for us, but they're definitely looking for someone.
I wouldn't want to run into whoever or whatever they're looking for.
Interior inn, pub room a few minutes later. Lisa and Tom sit at a table, and he drinks a beer while she sips a glass of water. Tom wears a black suit, tie loosened, while Lisa is in a blue business suit. She also wears an outdated wedding hat, a nod to the occasion they just attended, despite her otherwise no-nonsense wardrobe.
Oh, your sister's wedding brunch wasn't so bad, now was it?
It was fine. But I think I'm beginning to show. I hope you didn't notice.
Hermione's too self-possessed to pay attention to you, especially during her wedding weekend.
I didn't want to steal her thunder by vomiting on her shoes. Although my dark heart would like me to do that at some point.
Please wait until Sean marries her and takes her off your hands.
He still accused me of upstaging her, as she's always done. My morning sickness gets stronger every passing day.
Now, the burger and chips you ordered may calm your stomach.
Lisa
right
gets
back.
visibly queasy at the mention of food. Lisa stands and rushes for the bathroom.
Jesus. Thank God men can't get knocked up.
Tom checks his phone. It's 14:35 p.m. Interior inn women's toilet following. Lisa bursts into a stall. A high window shows the dark sky. It's begun to rain again, and the wetness begins to pound against the glass, leaving reddish-orange streaks, akin to the red oil John noticed spurting from the offshore rig. Lisa heaves into the toilet. Interior, John and Sam's kitchen, mid-afternoon. Sam, Kelly, and Joanne, an Asian American woman about 40, prepare food for Connor's birthday party. Joanne wears dangling earrings and a white form-fitting dress. Connor sits at the head of the large kitchen table with 9 friends close to his age. Sam gives the children a tray of mini pizzas, and she sets up the camcorder on a tripod, beginning to record the party. The kids squeal and babble. Tiffany, the Chihuahua, dances around, demanding Kelly's attention. Kelly bends down by the oven and pets the dog.
Are you being a good girl, Tiffany?
Kelly slips on a mitt and opens the oven. She pulls out a tray of party snacks and places them on the kitchen counter. Insert. The clock on the oven reads 14:34. The seconds tick.
Sam, you finished with the oven?
Yeah, that's the last of it for now.
Kelly turns off the oven and she picks up a clear party cup of wine and takes a sip.
Hey, where have you hidden the rest of the adult juice?
Behind the T-Rex cake. He's guarding it for me. Help yourself, if you dare.
Joanne, who has been scooping ice cream into kitty cups, heads to the bottle of red wine.
Very brave of you to wear white to a kitty birthday party.
I like to think I'm a risk taker.
Sam approaches Kelly.
What time you're expecting John?
Is that around 8?
Sam takes a sip of wine from Kelly's cup.
Get your own, cheeky.
Now, what kind of mother would I be drinking a full cup at my son's birthday party?
Calm one?
Joanne hands Sam a party cup of wine.
I'll drink to that. No matter what, no matter that it's nowhere near cocktail hour.
It's happy hour somewhere.
Sam, Joanne, and Kelly toast, and they each take a large drink while the kids eat their small pieces of pizza.
So are you going to give John a warm welcome tonight?
Maybe. Maybe not. It depends on how he behaves. I want him to ask how I am rather than listening to him unload about how tough it is to sleep with all his smelly blokes night after night.
The kitchen grows dark and rain begins to tap at the window.
We're going to need more wine, aren't we? I'll get it.
Kelly leaves the kitchen, heading to the garage.
Here comes the rain again.
The rain leaves oily red streaks on the window.
That looks unusual.
Sam opens the kitchen door that leads outdoors. Joanne joins her and puts her hand into the rain.
It's warm and a bit slippery.
Tiffany, the Chihuahua, jumps up and licks Joanne's hand. Interior, Land Cruiser, Scotland-England border, mid-afternoon. John, Addie, and Lee approach the England border, about halfway between the airport and John's home. The red rain begins to pummel the Land Cruiser's windshield. John starts the wipers, but the rain leaves a slippery trail of red grease behind as the rest gets swiped away. They pass a lay-by with a camper van. An elderly couple grabs their drinking glasses before scurrying into the vehicle.
The fuck is this?
I've never seen anything like it. Maybe slow down?
John lifts off the gas. Lee snorts to life in the back seat.
Fuck.
I hope this doesn't keep me from getting home before Connor falls asleep.
John looks in the mirror and sees that Lee has closed his eyes again. John blinks his eyes.
Adi, should we go on or should I pull over?
Addie doesn't respond. John looks over to his best friend, who has fallen asleep. John shakes his head, and then he passes out. Exterior, Scotland countryside, following. The Land Cruiser begins to slow as it reaches a curve in the road. The vehicle goes straight, crashing through a fence. The vehicle continues down a slight decline, picking up speed as it careers down the slope. It drives beneath a thick grove, striking a tree and coming to a dead stop. Interior, Land Cruiser, following. The airbags deploy. John, Addie, and Lee are thrown around the interior, yet they're all unconscious or asleep. The seatbelts keep them in their seats, but Lee's head strikes the passenger window, breaking it. Insert. The red rain seeps in, running down Lee's face, intermingling with the blood from his head wound. The dashboard clock turns from 14:36 to 14:37. The SUV's electronic system continues to run. Exterior space satellite view. The perspective from a UK satellite trained on Earth that hovers a few miles above the planet. The visible part of Earth grows more saturated with a reddish-orange haze, and the satellite records the time. 1436 Greenwich Mean Time. A peculiar obsidian object begins to creep into the frame. Before it's fully visible, the time monitor on the satellite begins to flicker, and then it dies. Everything goes black. End Act 1. Act 2. Exterior, a park, day. Impose on screen, December 12th, 17 days later. 3 wild dogs fight each other over a man's corpse as they're dragging it from under a tree. Red froth from their mouth flies every which way. Otherwise, it's a beautiful winter's day in northern England. Interior Land Cruiser, day. John, Addie, and Lee remain asleep. Light finds its way through the trees. John comes awake and turns to Addie, who also awakes, followed by Lee. Lee coughs up a glob of reddish-orange bile.
What the hell?
You men okay? Anything broken?
Lee spits the glob out the broken window and wipes the dried blood and gunk off his face.
I'm good. I think.
What the fuck did we drink last night?
What happened?
No idea. I just remember passing that in and then nothing.
Addie pulls his phone from his pocket.
Check your phones, lads.
John and Lee pull out their cell phones.
Mine's dead.
Fine.
John tries to start the car. The engine won't turn over. He unfastens his seatbelt. Exterior Land Cruiser following. The 3 men get out of the vehicle. Lee leans against the wrecked SUV and begins a coughing fit.
You sure you're okay?
Lee waves away John's concern. John, Addie, and Lee begin to walk up the hill to where they crash through the fence. Exterior roadside following. The splinters of broken fence remain scattered on the pavement. The road is silent and empty. John picks up a piece of the fence from the road.
You think someone would have noticed?
John tosses the broken board a few meters beyond the road.
What now?
Let's head back to the inn. It's only a mile or so up the road. I need to let Sam know I'm okay, but I'm gonna be late.
What about your SUV and our bags?
We'll come back for them once I've called Sam and hired a car.
Exterior, Scotland Country Road, several minutes later. John, Addie, and Lee round a corner. Ahead in the lay-by is the camper van they passed. Now it's covered in dry reddish-orange dust. The elderly couple seems to be gone, but the camper van door is open. The men approach the vehicle. The picnic table and chairs outside have blown over, scattered. Lee looks clammy and pale. He's out of breath. John approaches and knocks on the open door, peering inside.
Hello? Anyone here?
No answer. John climbs in, followed by Addie. Lee leans against the outside of the camper van, gasping for breath. Interior, camper van, continuous. Moldy food sits on the stove.
Where do you think they've gone?
No idea, but this isn't a cheap setup.
Addie picks up a phone that lies next to the stove.
It's dead.
Lee pulls himself in. He looks very ill.
Anything?
We should keep moving to the inn. Do you want to rest here? We'll come back for you.
Oh, no. It's good to go.
Lee exits the camper van, followed by Addie. Exterior camper van, following. John leaves last, pulling the door shut. Exterior Scottish Country Road, a few minutes later. John and Addie walk ahead. Lee trails behind.
What do you think's going on with Lee?
Maybe he's been shaken by the crash. He may have gotten the worst of it being in the back seat.
POV. Addie looks back to Lee, who nearly sinks to a knee before righting himself.
Maybe.
Exterior Scottish Country Road, moments later. John, Addie, and Lee come across the Army helicopter that circled above the inn. It has crashed near the road. John approaches the wreckage. Addie and Lee stay back. The rear of the helicopter is charred, but the crushed cabin has not burned. The remains of the helicopter are covered with red dust. Interior, crashed helicopter, continuous. John sees 2 dead pilots and 3 dead passengers inside the helicopter. their bodies intact. 2 of the passengers wear hazmat suits. The others all wear military uniforms.
Anything?
All dead from the crash.
Yeah, I can smell from here.
Well, looks like they've been dead for some time now.
Not sure how that works.
Lee vomits a huge blob of reddish-orange potatoes and eggs. Exterior, Scottish country road following. John walks with Addie. Lee trails several yards behind.
What the hell's going on?
Let's get to the inn. I don't like the look of Lee. Something's wrong with him.
Exterior, inn parking lot, afternoon, a bit later. The cars in the parking lot are covered in the same dust as the Land Cruiser and the camper van. Trash cans lie on their sides. John, Addie, and Lee walk through the mess and up the steps to the inn. Interior inn lobby, following. The lobby is abandoned. The wall-mounted TV monitor displays a blue screen. The electricity is still on, but there's no reception. Interior inn dining room, following. John, Addie, and Lee walk into the dining room. Rotting food and dusty glasses sit untouched on the tables. A drop tray of food and drinks lays on the floor. Chairs have toppled over. No one is present.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Call Sam on your house phone. Let her know that you're okay, and then we'll figure this out.
John heads to the landline on the wall. Addie turns to Lee, who has begun to develop a rash on his face.
Sit down, mate. You look like shite.
Not so hot yourself.
And I'm the good-looking one. Keep that in mind, what that says about yourself.
Lee tries to force a laugh, but bends into a coughing fit, expelling more red bile. Addie helps him in the chair.
Stay here, and I'll get some water.
Lee begins to choke. He falls off the chair, frothing at the mouth. Addie rushes back to him, sitting him upright and smacking his back.
Can't breathe.
Come on, mate, settle down. Give it a minute and take it in slow.
Lee takes a couple of deep breaths. Then he spews a huge red glob and wipes his face.
There you go. Spit the fucker out just like a cheap horn.
Lee tries to laugh, but he begins to cough again. He looks worse than ever.
It's what?
Okay?
There's a chance I'll live. I'll get the water myself.
Addie watches Lee leave, concerned. John comes back from the bar, approaching Addie. Lee heads into the kitchen.
Did you get through?
No answer. It just went direct to the house and cell voicemail. I couldn't leave a message.
It doesn't mean anything, mate. She just could be out.
She's home for Connor's birthday and her phone is her favorite appendage, so...
Well, with a dick like yours, who can blame her?
POV. Lisa comes from the bathroom hallway. John and Addie turn and face her. Lisa walks carefully toward them. She holds her head with a hand, and she looks a little worse for the wear. Rumpled blue business suit, carrying her high heels and wedding hat.
What happened?
John approaches her. Addie stays back.
We don't know.
Where did everyone go? Where's Tom? Where's my husband?
Lisa pushes past John and looks around. She moves to the table where she and Tom had been seated. Their food and drinks are still there, poorly aged.
We have no idea. We're travelling home from work. The best we can figure is that we fell asleep and some time has passed.
Lisa pulls her phone from her pocket. She checks it. The battery is dead.
This is impossible. My phone was fully charged.
Lisa heads towards the exit of the inn's dining room. John follows her.
Wait.
Lisa stops and turns to face John.
I have to find Tom.
We need to stick together. The border with England is just a few miles down the road. Let's head south and see if there's any sign of a police, army, anything.
You think this could just be in Scotland?
I don't know. But if it isn't, then we'll figure it out from there. Do you have a car?
Yes.
Lisa shows him the keys in her hand.
We should get going.
Let's rouse Lee.
Who?
Our friend. He isn't doing well after we awoke from the crash.
John turns back to Addie.
Where's Lee?
He's in the kitchen. I'll get him.
Before Addie can move, they hear a loud crash from within the kitchen. The door pushes open and Lee emerges. He's become a reject. He looks horrific. Think 28 Days meets Chernobyl. He snaps his jaws open and shut and he grunts. Lee staggers forward, lunging from side to side, swinging a large butcher knife. He spots Lisa and turns toward her.
What the fuck, mate? Put the knife down.
Lee, stay back. Don't hurt her. She's our new friend.
Lee wails and lunges toward Lisa, raising the knife. John grabs a bar stool. He strikes Lee across the upper body. Lee goes down, lying on the floor unconscious, but still twitching and grunting. POV. Lee's glazed eyes roll back and forth.
We need to leave before he awakens.
Can't just leave him here.
He isn't coming with us, and we need to get back to England.
Lee's our friend.
I don't like your friend.
And I need to get Sam and Connor. When we find help, we'll send someone back for Lee.
We should go now. It'll be dark soon, and I need to contact the authorities to find Tom.
I don't think it's right to leave Lee.
You can stay or you can come with me, but I'm leaving and he ain't invited.
Lisa places her wedding hat on her head. Then she turns and heads for the exit, still carrying her shoes. John follows. Addie looks down at Lee, then follows after them. POV. After they're gone, Lee's eyes flicker open. Exterior in parking lot, moments later. Lisa rushes to her Discovery, unlocking it from a distance. She slides into the driver's seat and John gets in the front passenger seat. Addie climbs in the back. The Discovery pulls out of its parking bay. POV. The indoors open and Reject Lee staggers out. Lisa accelerates and the Discovery joins the main road. Lee howls after the vehicle. Interior, Discovery, following. Lisa drives along the main road, swerving to Miss Dietrich's.
By the way, I'm John, and this is Addie, so thanks for the lift.
I'm Lisa, and you're welcome. But this ride only lasts until I find someone to report what's happened. My priority is finding Tom.
Nice to meet you, Lisa. And understood.
Thanks all the same.
Insert. The dash clock reads December 12th, 1506. John tries the radio, but only gets static and silence. The sat-nav reads, no satellites found. Exterior, Scottish Country Road, a few minutes later. Lisa, Addie, and John continue down the road. Lisa's SUV rounds a corner. Ahead is the crashed helicopter. Lisa slows, weaving the Discovery through. A partially charred body has been dragged onto the road since the men passed. Crows peck at the remains of the corpse. A pack of 4 crazed dogs approach the body, and the enormous crows take flight. The birds sag a bit under the weight they've gained. Interior, Discovery, continuous. John looks back at Addie. They all look deflated. Lisa concentrates on guiding the large SUV through the wreckage. Exterior, Scottish-English border, late afternoon, 3:30 p.m. The Discovery pulls up at the border. There are no signs of police, army, or anyone in charge. The clock registers 15:30. Interior, Discovery, continuous. Lisa looks to John.
Now what?
Back to England.
Interior, John and Sam's garage, dusk, 4 p.m. Kelly comes awake with a bottle of wine in each hand, one broken and empty, the other full. The window allows in the light of the last of the day's light. The refrigerator door remains open, and the light is on. Kelly lets go of the broken bottle, and she closes the refrigerator door. The room goes dark. Kelly reopens the refrigerator and begins to cross the room with the full bottle. Interior, John and Sam's kitchen, continuous. Kelly enters the kitchen from the garage door. The room is vacant.
Hello?
Kelly hears a muted growl in the distance. Tiffany, the tiny chihuahua, skulks into the kitchen. The dog looks wild and rabid. Red froth leaks from her mouth.
Holy shit, Tiffany?
The crazed dog approaches, trying to attack. Kelly punts the creature into the living room. Kelly breathes deep. The children and other adults are gone. POV. The kitchen table appears hastily abandoned. All of the drinks have been upended, and the table is a mess. POV. Connor's T-Rex birthday cake has collapsed and grown moldy with age. Back to scene. Kelly sinks into a chair, gasping for breath.
Is anyone here? Where's everyone gone?
Kelly reaches for the corkscrew on the counter beside her. End Act 2. Act 3. Interior, Land Rover Discovery, early night, 5:30 p.m. The dashboard reads December 12th, 1730, and the winter sky is dark. Lisa gasps.
What is it?
The date. The SUV system says it's December 12th.
That can't be. That means we'd been asleep for...
More than 2 weeks.
17 days.
That explains why the food looks rotten.
And the decomposing bodies.
Lisa hits the brakes. The tires squeal and she swerves, barely avoiding a stopped vehicle around a turn.
I can barely see, and there are abandoned vehicles every mile or so. It doesn't seem smart to go on.
There's a hotel in Berwick-upon-Tweed. It's not far.
Lisa takes a short beat.
That sounds good. We're low on fuel, and we should stop for food.
I told Sam I'd be home tonight.
Look, Addie's right. It seems we haven't eaten for more than 2 weeks, and it's been a long day.
Or 17.
John fights his emotions.
I need to know that my family is okay.
Me too. But I think it's best if we only drive during daylight.
We don't know what we'll encounter at night.
Suppose you're right.
Exterior, Discovery, following. The SUV continues at a very slow pace. Its high beams light their way through another wreck. They pass a billboard for the Berwick View Hotel, announcing it's 2 miles ahead. Exterior, Berwick View Hotel, following. The SUV pulls into the parking lot of an upscale hotel in northern England. Interior, Discovery, continuous. Lisa, John, and Addie check the surroundings.
Addie and I will go inside and look around. You should wait here.
Come back in 10 minutes and let me know if you're safe or I'm leaving.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Exterior, hotel parking lot, continuous. John and Addie get out of the Discovery. Lisa turns off the engine to conserve fuel. She looks nervously about. Interior, hotel lobby, following. John and Addie cautiously enter the hotel lobby. Luggage lays strewn across the floor. Chairs have been upended. The desk is dark and empty. The lobby is silent.
Someone or something has done this.
That's become more and more clear.
The government?
Why would they crash their own helicopters and kill their personnel?
I wouldn't put it past them.
You've always been a conspiracy theorist.
And you think what we've seen today makes me look less wrong?
Fair enough.
John and Addie head down the hall, deeper into the hotel. Exterior, hotel entry, a few minutes later. Addie and John step out of the hotel and wave to Lisa.
Everything looks safe enough.
Bring the car close and lock it.
In case we need to make a hasty exit.
Interior, hotel hallway, a few minutes later. Lisa, John, and Addie approach an open door to a suite with a maid truck that holds the door open. John wheels the truck out of the way, but holds the door open.
Let's see if you can open the door whilst you're inside.
Paranoid much?
Quite. I don't want to spend my last days deciding which of us is going to eat the other whilst we're trapped in the suite.
We'll break you out if the door won't open.
John steps inside, shuts the door, and opens it.
Happy?
Never less so.
At least the suite seems safe.
Now that we have a refuge for the night, two of us should go for food.
I'm famished. I'll go with you.
And I'll hold down the fort.
Interior, kitchen service area, a few minutes later. John and Lisa enter the kitchen, which shows the remnants of a contained fire. The stoves have burned out and the refrigerators are closed. Lisa approaches the fridge.
You dare me?
Before John can answer, they hear a noise from underneath the massive metal prep station. John picks up a butcher's knife.
Who's there?
A clattering emanates from beneath or behind the metal tables. John and Lisa stand back. John wields his knife. Emma Oswald, Scottish, about 25 and very pregnant, begins to extricate herself from under the massive prep station.
Please help me.
Who are you?
I'm Emma Oswald. The prep chef?
John hands the knife to Lisa.
Watch my back.
John helps Emma out from under the station and to her feet. Emma wears a hotel uniform and she reaches for the crucifix at her neck.
Thank you. What's happened?
So many people are gone, and it appears that time has passed.
How could that be? I was awake earlier, but I got scared when I heard you.
What have you seen?
Everyone was gone. I crawled under my station the way they teach us in emergency drills. I thought maybe it was a terrorist attack.
Lisa sets down the knife.
Did you go outside?
Once to wait for my husband, but I came back in. I live too far away to walk in my condition. Harry picks me up at the end of my shift, and then he goes to work.
Emma looks deflated.
Do you know what the date is?
It's November 25th.
We think it's December 12th.
How can that be?
We don't know. It could be the car electronics throwing us off, but...
I need to get home and make sure Harry and my son Joseph are well. I need to go now. Please take me.
It's not safe to go at night. That's why we stopped here.
We're all trying to learn what has happened to us and to our families.
Come up to the suite with us. It's safe there. We'll take you home in the morning.
Interior, hotel suite, later. The group of four, John, Addie, Lisa, and Emma, consume the food that is not spoiled.
I guess it's good we couldn't get you ladies to drink.
You certainly slowed us down, which will lead to reduced regret tomorrow.
We do drink quite a bit when we're off duty on the oil rig, huh?
Well, I can't.
And I don't these days.
Why not?
I have my reasons, not least of which that I'm a nurse and I know the consequences of overindulging.
Or at least what the consequences used to be.
You may be living in a completely different world.
It's early, but I'm ready to sleep. Let's try to get going at dawn, all right?
Agreed.
Emma and I will take the master bedroom, and the two of you can fight it out over the other bedroom and the couch.
Or just cozy up together.
John and Addie exchange glances. They speak at the same time.
We sleep in the same room all the time.
So we're close, but not in that way.
Lisa and Emma smirk at them. Interior, hotel suite, living room, night. John looks down at the small city as the streetlights flicker out. It looks like the world is dying a new death.
Everything's going dark.
The blackout eventually reaches the hotel. The hotel room plunges into darkness. Seconds later, the emergency lights come on.
Welcome to the Stone Age.
At least the emergency lights still work.
For now.
Interior, master bedroom, concurrently. Emma and Lisa share the enormous king bed.
It's really comforting to have a nurse nearby. I don't think I've ever slept with a nurse.
I hope I can be a comfort to you. But I want to tell you something that I haven't told the men yet.
What is it?
I'm pregnant as well.
What an amazing coincidence.
Is it? I really hope that's the case.
The lights flicker and go out.
That's scary.
Emma begins to cry, and Lisa reaches for her hand.
It's very scary.
Interior, hotel suite, bathroom, morning. John, shirtless, brushes his teeth. Light filters in from the main room, but the bathroom lights no longer work. Addie leans into the open bathroom.
I think you should come see what's going on in the parking lot.
John pulls on his work shirt and follows Addie. POV. Out the window, John and Addie watch a reject man stagger around the hotel parking lot. He carries a large crowbar. He bumps into a car covered with red dust, setting off the alarm, which blares. The reject man beats on the car with his crowbar, shattering the front windshield. Back to scene. John looks to Addie.
Just thought you should know.
We're gonna have to be careful when we leave.
And likely every moment afterwards.
Interior, hotel lobby, a half hour later. The 4 survivors stand in the lobby, looking out the hotel windows. It's a bleak winter morning.
So what does this psycho look like?
Like a psycho?
With a crowbar.
You're frightening me.
Lisa hugs Emma close, side by side.
We need you to know what we're up against. We're gonna get you home, but we have to be careful.
I'll go out and open the car doors and start the engine.
I don't let other people drive my car. Because of insurance.
I don't think your policy is still in effect.
You're probably right. Go ahead, Addie.
Exterior, hotel parking lot, following. Addie starts the engine after opening the vehicle's doors. The reject man hears the car start, and he comes from behind the hotel. He's naked from the waist up, oblivious to the winter weather, wearing a tattered mechanic's jumpsuit, open with the top half folded at the waist. POV. John, Lisa, and Emma stop short, carrying their bags and the supplies they've stockpiled from the hotel kitchen. Addie glances at them as the reject man approaches the Discovery. Addie accelerates, hitting the reject man, sending him off to the side of the vehicle. The reject man begins to stand, but Addie throws the Discovery into reverse. Then Addie accelerates toward the reject man, striking him again. This time, the reject man lands on the hood of the Discovery, cracking the passenger side of the front windshield with his head. Close on, his face turns up to the cracked glass, and the reject man looks familiar. Addie throws the vehicle into reverse, hits the accelerator, causing the reject man to dump onto the pavement. Addie approaches again, this time driving over the reject man. As soon as both sets of tires cross the body, Addie backs up and runs over the reject man again. POV. Reddish-orange blood seeps into the pavement. Back to scene. Addie wheels around to the front of the hotel.
Get in!
The others rush to the vehicle, carrying what they can. Interior, Discovery, a few minutes later. Addie continues to gasp for air. The others try to adjust to what they witnessed.
We have to get gas.
I live about 2 miles from here. I know where there's a station. You can stop before or after you drop me home.
I guess my insurance company isn't going to take my call today.
None of you fucking get it, do you?
No one speaks.
That psycho was Lee. He followed us here.
Addie fights tears.
I really loved him, but I just killed him.
End of Act 3. Act 4. Interior, Discovery, a minute or so later. The others try to process what Addie has just told them.
How do you know it was Lee that was just killed?
I know him like the back of my hand. We were very close.
We all were.
It was different with Lee. I meant to tell you, but Lee didn't want to. I knew him down to his skivvies.
A long pause. Here's the petrol station on the right. Exterior. Petrol station a few minutes later. John fires up the generator that he and Addie have dragged out of the station.
That should be enough power to get the pump running.
Addie signals a thumbs up and he begins to fuel the vehicle. Lisa moves from the back seat into the driver's.
Just to give you a break. Not because of my car.
Addie tries to smile.
But also because of your car.
No. But I want something to do, and you need a break.
Lisa takes some effort to slide into the driver's seat, placing a hand on her belly. Checks herself in the mirror.
God, I look like a mad cow.
Interior, Discovery a few minutes later. Lisa pulls up in front of Emma's flat.
This is the one.
I'll go in with you, if you like. Addie and Lisa will wait for us.
Yes, please.
John checks to make sure this is okay. Lisa and Addie assent. Interior, Emma's flat. Hallway, following. Emma and John step into the modest interior. Emma clutches at her necklace.
Harry? Joseph? Are you here?
Tears run down Emma's face when no one answers. John follows Emma as she begins to walk down the hall. The home is decorated with cheap furniture. A large crucifix hangs prominently above the hearth. Close on. Photo of Emma, Harry, and Joseph on the wall. Joseph is a 3-year-old blonde boy. John and Emma hear the sound of a boy, and Emma rushes down the hall and into a bedroom off the hallway. John stops at the kitchen. Interior. Emma's flat, Joseph's bedroom, continuous. A young boy, Logan, about 3, plays with Joseph's toys. Logan looks similar to Joseph, but he has dark hair. Emma gasps.
Joseph. Where's Joseph?
He's not here, Mama.
Who are you, sweetie?
Logan disappears. Interior. Emma's flat, John and Sam's kitchen. John looks into the kitchen. It's identical to the large one at his home. John sees a young boy who could be Connor, but it's the same boy, Logan, now about 5, that Emma just saw. Logan builds a vertical puzzle at the kitchen table, sitting in the same place where Connor was at his birthday party.
I don't have to go to sleep tonight because it's my birthday.
Connor? Is that you?
Interior, Emma's flat, kitchen. Logan disappears, and the kitchen changes from the one at John's home to the one in Emma's flat.
No, Papa. It's me, Logan.
Interior hallway, a moment later. John comes out of the kitchen, just as Emma exits Joseph's bedroom.
Emma, did you hear that?
I thought I heard Joseph. I thought I saw him.
And I thought I saw and heard Connor.
They have to be somewhere, don't they? Harry? Joseph?
It was our minds playing tricks. We can come back later.
I have to find them.
John embraces Emma, hugging her close.
We can't leave you alone, especially in your condition.
I'm so scared.
Please come with us.
I will, if you'll let me leave them a message. Where are we going?
To my home. I'll give Harry my name, my address, and phone number.
Exterior, Emma's home, moments later. Emma, trembling, locks the front door after they exit. She and John head to Lisa's SUV. Interior, Discovery, a half hour later, midday. Lisa sits behind the wheel with John in the passenger seat. Addie and Emma sleep in the back seat. Addie wears his headset.
I don't mean to be a control freak.
But you are?
Addie is traumatized by what he had to do to Lee. I won't hesitate if a similar situation arises. I don't care what it does to my car.
You're tough, aren't you?
A long beat as Lisa thinks about this.
No, but I'm a nurse. I'll do what has to be done to save lives.
Where do you live in Skipton?
In a nice home. I'll make some money. What about you in Hutton Runby?
Just a home with an attached garage. Enough space for 2 parents and 2 kids, but so far we've only had the one.
Another one in the near future?
Yeah, that was the plan.
Lisa takes a beat.
What about Addie?
He lives in Stockesley, but he's an only child. His parents are gone. Sometimes he stays with Sam and me for a few days.
I mean with Lee.
Oh, no, it's not like that. There was a girl he used to see, but she broke it off.
Lisa takes a pause.
John, Addie just told you that he and Lee were together.
Lee and Addie? They were close, but Lee wasn't much for settling down. Addie's father was a diplomat in Nigeria, but he's never mentioned his mother.
I guess you can hear what you want, or you can listen to what your best friend just told you.
Seems that way.
Tell me about Sam and Connor. What are we looking for at your place?
It's his birthday. Or was it on November 25th? They're having a party and I was supposed to be there.
And Sam? Is she your first love?
Not quite. But my real love, yeah, I guess. She's almost perfect. Too good for me.
Maybe you underestimate yourself.
Didn't you just tell me that I don't know how to listen?
That's a flaw, but I'm talking about the whole picture.
Tell me about Tom.
He's always said I'm the better half. but he's kind and direct.
I always said that Sam was my better half.
But you have to do right by your other half, don't you?
The pieces don't make a whole if they come from different puzzles.
Lisa breaks abruptly.
What the hell is this?
Exterior, Discovery, early afternoon. The Discovery comes to a stop about 200 meters from a British Army warrior tank. The tank blocks the road. It's impossible to tell if it's friend or foe, manned or empty.
What do you suppose that's doing here?
Let's turn around and find another way.
Exterior, behind the Discovery, continuous. From behind the tree line, about 300 meters behind the SUV, a horde of about a dozen reject people step out and begin to move toward Lisa's Discovery. Some move more efficiently than others, coming back to life at different rates. Interior, Discovery, continuous. Emma and Addie awaken. Addie notices the horde of rejects.
Look what's behind us.
Drive toward the tank!
Exterior, Discovery, continuous. The SUV approaches the warrior. Once the SUV clears, the tank points its main gun at the approaching horde of reject people. Lisa angles the vehicle off to the side.
Get down!
Interior, Discovery, continuous. John, Lisa, Addie, and Emma duck and cover their heads inside the Discovery as the tank fires near the SUV. Flashes of gunfire illuminate the SUV's interior. Exterior, warrior, continuous. After 2 shots, most of the rejects lay dead, splattered along the road. The few surviving rejects rush into the woods. All goes silent. A moment later, the warrior's rear hatch opens. Winston, the tank commander, around 50 and wearing a British Army uniform, emerges. John, Lisa, Addie, and Emma remain in the Discovery.
Any of you infected?
No, we're all well.
Winston begins to walk very slowly toward the vehicle. His hand hovers near his sidearm, looking a little trigger-happy.
What's your business?
We're headed home. We're searching for our loved ones.
You know what's happened?
Yeah, British government fucked the dog.
What's that supposed to mean?
Winston looks to the tank.
Come to the tank and I'll tell you what I can, even though it's against my better judgment.
Interior, warrior, moments later. John and Addie assist Emma into the back of the tank, and then they all clamber in after. Tank Commander Winston closes the hatch.
Just in case one of those fuckers comes back for some more, eh?
The interior of the tank is typical of armored personnel carriers. Enough cramped space for about 10 soldiers in the back. 2 seats up front, but fairly uncomfortable.
I'm Tank Commander Winston, and this here, Sergeant Williams.
Yeah.
Sergeant Williams, a stout, balding man in his late 30s, turns and nods to the group in the back. They ad-lib greetings.
Got to say, you were quite useful then. We've been watching that horde for 2 days, but we couldn't get a clear shot at so many. They've been organising, and you drew most of them out of the woods.
What are they?
Rejects, no longer human.
As good a term as any, I guess.
What's the date?
Winston looks to his clock.
I'd say it's year 0, day 17, ATR.
ATR?
After the rain. That Christian era has ended.
Emma gasps, clutching her crucifix.
What shall we do?
Avoid rejects and stay in a sealed place if that red rain comes again.
What are you going to do?
Our last order was to hold station.
That means fucking... that means blasting rejects off the fucking planet for the time being.
What about the government? Have they come to help?
Last report we received before we lost comms was this is worldwide. Governments are gone.
An otherworldly howl breaks the conversation.
What was that? Most likely the reject dogs. But don't worry, you're safe in here.
Strangest fucking dogs I've ever seen.
Dogs that came into contact with the red rain have mutated into canine rejects.
Exterior, warrior, following. 4 reject dogs feast on the dead reject humans near the tank. The reject dogs snarl at one another while gorging. Interior, warrior, continuous. Sergeant Williams watches the reject dogs on his scope. He shoots. Bam!
Got a clear shot. They're dead or gone.
There you go. That's your signal. Time for you lot to move on while it's safe.
It's safe.
As safe as it's going to be for the foreseeable future.
Exterior, warrior following. The rear hatch opens. John, Addie, Lisa, and Emma emerge. Winston shakes John's hand, squatting at the back of the tank. The others rush for the Discovery.
And good luck getting home. I hope you find your loved ones.
Is there any way we can contact you?
We'll be here, blasting rejects until we run out of ammo, fuel, or food. Or someone who used to be part of our military comes to save us.
Winston climbs into the Warrior and closes the rear hatch. A moment later, the tank moves to allow the Discovery to pass. Interior, Discovery moments later. The group is quiet, absorbing what they've learned.
Well, that wasn't much help.
Guess we're on our own.
So, we'll head to John's place in Hutton Rugby and then on to mine in Skipton.
Doesn't it seem that a man from the military should have offered more hope?
He's pissed about what's happened.
He didn't want to tell us why.
Emma turns and looks out the window. Tears well up. Addie looks in her direction. He wants to comfort her. Exterior, motorway, afternoon. As John, Lisa, Addie, and Emma continue along the motorway, they notice the city burning in the distance.
Out on the rig, I watched a documentary about what would happen to the planet if every person died.
And what was the conclusion?
That nature would take back the planet, but it would take thousands of years.
What about the technology we have in place?
All the power stations would burn out, structures and dams would collapse. The last objects to survive would likely be in space.
Insert, exterior, space, above Earth. The black aircraft visible at the end of Act 1 pulls into frame. It's difficult to make out its contours against the blackness of space. Back to scene. Lisa slows to look at the burning city. They're far enough away to be safe, but close enough to see that an oil refinery has set the city aflame.
They also said that a modern city couldn't burn.
Yes, they were wrong.
Maybe they didn't consider that the city would be drenched in red oil that fell from above.
Lisa stares around another abandoned vehicle in the road.
Let's get to John's home.
We're only about 20 minutes away, probably an hour, though, since this happened.
Interior, John and Sam's kitchen, late afternoon. Kelly grasps the remains of Tiffany with a long set of barbecue tongs. She wears a bandana across her lower face and a pair of Sam's swimming goggles. Exterior, John and Sam's home, following. Kelly takes the tiny creature to the garbage bin just outside the kitchen door. Close on, Tiffany's remains are covered in reddish-orange gunk. Kelly drops the body into the plastic bin. The dog's body lands with a thud. Back to scene. Kelly hears a noise.
Who's there?
A human form shrouded in darkness begins to approach.
Sam? John? Who's there?
The battery-powered motion-sensing light from the driveway backlights the figure, shaped like Joanne.
Is that you, Joanne? Thank God, I've been alone since I woke up yesterday. No one is around. I went over to Patrick's, but he wasn't home, so I came back.
The figure slowly approaches. Kelly grows more panicked, but tries to hide it.
Hey, Joanne, there's plenty of wine if you want a glass. I'm going inside. I'll pour one for you.
POV. Joanne, now a reject, slowly approaches Kelly on the sidewalk near the garbage bins. She still wears one earring, but the other has been ripped through her frayed ear. Dried reddish-orange blood is caked onto that side of her face and splattered down the front of her white dress, which is also despoiled with other bits of garbage and grime. Interior, John and Sam's kitchen, following. Kelly rushes inside, locking the door. The room is dark. Kelly breathes, trying to quiet her panic. POV, a crash, as Reject Joanne breaks the glass of the kitchen door. Reject Joanne reaches inside, her arm bloodied from the broken glass. Thick reddish-orange blood splatters the floor. Reject Joanne twists the lock and opens the door. Back to scene. Kelly grabs an empty wine bottle.
Joanne, what do you want? I'll give you whatever you need. I never told John about you and Sam, I swear.
Reject Joanne approaches. She bares her teeth and her jaw snaps. Close on, Reject Joanne's irises are bloodshot and human. Lights from outside. A vehicle pulls into the drive. Kelly takes a wild swing at Reject Joanne with the wine bottle. She misses. On the backswing, she stumbles, knocking over the camera tripod. The camera crashes to the floor. A red light flickers on. Kelly lands beside the camera. Reject Joanne comes closer. A video of Connor's birthday party begins to play. Insert birthday video. We see Sam begin to sing.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Connor. Happy birthday to you.
In the kitchen, for the rest of the sequence, the only visuals are the videotape of Connor's birthday party, with Sam now behind the camera recording footage. As the video plays, we also hear sounds in the kitchen.
What's wrong with you, Joanne?
Off-screen, shuffling noises. Off-screen, car doors slam. Video. Joanne picks up Tiffany, the teacup chihuahua, and kisses her, rustling a birthday hat onto the dog's head. Off-screen, Kelly grunts in panic as she fights Reject Joanne.
Get off me, you bitch!
Reject Joanne roars. Video. The children scream so loudly with joy that it sounds like terror. Joanne, before she became a reject, delivers ice cream to them. Her face beams with happiness. Off-screen, the thud of a body landing on the kitchen floor. Video. Kelly smiles, pouring 2 cups of wine, handing one to Sam behind the camera. Sam's hand reaches into the video frame.
Thank you for keeping me sane.
You've done the same for me.
Can we have my T-Rex now?
In a minute, sweetie.
Off-screen, heavy breathing, body-on-body sounds in the kitchen, the crash of a wine bottle breaking. Video. Sam dips into frame, holding the camera behind her. She kisses Connor on the head.
I love you so much, baby.
Off-screen, heavy breathing, the wet sound of pierced flesh.
Oh.
Another roar from Reject Joanne. A foot kicks the camera during the scuffle. Video spins out of control. Interior, kitchen door, right now. John enters. His eyes assess what's happening.
Holy fuck!
John rushes out of frame toward the sounds coming from Kelly and Reject Joanne. Interior, Connor's birthday video. The video skips ahead. The camera finally settles on its side. The following scene plays turned at a nearly 90-degree angle, making it a little hard to figure out what's happening. All of the children except for Connor are gone. He's asleep at the kitchen table. Off-screen, we hear John in the kitchen right now as muffled fighting continues.
Are you okay? Stop it! Are you okay?
A large red entity comes into frame. It grasps Connor, lifting him out of the chair. The red entity does not have the shape of a physical creature. Rather, its physical limitations are fluid, moving almost like a liquid flame. While its size remains consistent, the boundaries of its physicality shift. The red entity lifts Connor. The boy's foot gets stuck in the chair. The red entity lowers Connor slightly and then roughly pulls up on the sleeping boy. Connor's shoe falls, landing on the floor. Hold on the still shoe at this awkward angle as credits roll. End of episode 1.